Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now what if I told you guys I could make some Guyanese Bara without the flour, without the baking powder, and without the yeast. I'm talking about some Bara that's straight up made from split peas, water, and some spices and seasonings. Now while it is still fried, I'll consider this just a little bit healthier because it has no gluten on the inside. And as you guys can see, it is still super light and fluffy on the inside. So for any of you guys who have gluten intolerances, this one's for you. For any of my vegetarians or vegans out there, this one is for you. And for all of my fellow Hindus who are fasting for this Navratri season, this quick little vegetarian/vegan snack is for you as well. So I hope you guys are ready for something super delicious. Let's get into the kitchen and put it together. To start making this gluten-free bara, what you're going to need is some yellow split peas that you've soaked overnight. Now if you do not want to soak them overnight, you can soak them for at least 4 hours in some really warm to hot water. That should do the trick as well. But basically you want to soak them so this way they soak up enough water so they grind well. Now I'm adding them into my Vitamix. You can use any other type of blender or food processor, and then I'll show you guys how much water to add in and to blend it up. And once you get all of your soaked split peas into your blender, you're going to add in some water, you're going to close it up, and you're going to blend it until it is in a very fine paste. You do not want any chunks for this because if you have any chunks, the whole thing won't really work, but I'll show you guys as we go along what it looks like. Now as usual, if you're wondering where the ingredients and the measurements are, they're right down below in this video in the description box. So you just click right below the video and a drop down menu will appear with all of the information that goes with this video. Now I'm always getting questions on what kitchen equipment I'm using. Just to let you guys know, this right here is the Vitamix. Now in my description box below, I usually have a list of Amazon links of some stuff that I use or like in my kitchen. So this right here, I'll link it down below as well, just to share with you guys what I'm using. Now for this recipe, you really do need a stand mixer or a hand mixer or something that's going to help you beat this mixture really well. You could do it by hand, but you will be there for a really long time trying to beat this mixture. So that's why I'm just using the ease of my hand mixer today, or my stand mixer, so this way I can put this together. So basically, as you guys can see, all of my split peas that I blended with that water have turned into a very fine paste. As you guys can see, there's no chunks to it, and it's very fine and ready to use. Now once you add the ground split peas into your stand mixer, you're going to go ahead and beat it on a medium speed for about 2 minutes or until you see that it starts to get very fluffy. I've beat my mixture for about 2 minutes at this point, and as you guys can see, it has started to get really nice and fluffy. Now it is not exactly to the point where I want it, which is going to be stiff peaks. It's a little softer than that, but before it gets to the stiff peaks, I want to go ahead and add in all of my seasonings. So into this mixture, I am going in with my crushed hot pepper as well as some garlic. All I did was I put them in my mortar and pestle and I pounded them really well. Now once you've added in your crushed garlic and hot pepper, you're going to go in with some salt to taste, and you're also going to go in with some roasted ground cumin or geera. Now this roasted ground cumin is truly a great addition whenever making any type of bara, just because of that earthy, spicy tone that it adds to the dish. And I'm also going in with some finely chopped scallions. The scallions are totally optional. I know some people like to put it in when they make bara, and some people do not like to put it in at all. So go ahead and add it in as per your own preference. And once you add in all of these ingredients, you're just going to go ahead and put the mixer back on and allow these ingredients to mix in before we add in the rest of the ingredients. After I saw that those ingredients were well incorporated, I'm going in with some dye, as Guyanese people would call it, which is also known as turmeric, and this is basically going to give it that yellow color that bara is known for. If you want to dial back on the yellow color, feel free to use less, and if you want it even more yellow than I made it, feel free to add more. And once you've added in your turmeric, you're going to go ahead and add in your frozen chopped spinach. If you don't want to use frozen chopped spinach, you can use any type of fresh spinach, such as baby spinach, and you just chop it up really fine and then add it into the mixer. Now once you add the spinach in and all of the other ingredients, you're going to keep on beating this mixture until you see that it has doubled in size from what it was in the beginning. The reason why you want to beat it so much till we get to stiff peaks is so this way it can really hold its shape when we put it in the hot oil to fry. So let me keep on beating and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Now my mixture is done beating, and as you guys can see, it has formed stiff peaks. When I hold the spoon over, when I take a scoop out, it is not falling off the spoon. I want to say this took about 5 minutes, but trust me, you will know once it gets to stiff peaks and it is standing on its own. Now, being that this mixture does not have any yeast or baking powder or flour in it, we do not have to allow it to rest, and we do not have to physically beat it with our hand like we normally would with a regular bara. So we can fry it right away, which means we can have our bara even quicker. So as you guys can see, I've heated up a pan with some oil and I've put in a wooden spoon. When you put the wooden spoon in the bottom of the oil and you see it start to sizzle just slightly, that's how you know that your oil is hot enough. So at this point, I'm going to start dropping in spoonfuls of my bara mixture, and then we are going to allow it to fry. Now, as you guys can see, as I'm adding it into the pot, it is not sizzling vigorously. You do not want the stove super hot, and you do not want it super cold. The reason being is because if it's too hot or too cold, then if it's too hot, it will burn and it will soak up too much oil. If it's too cold, it will soak up too much oil and they will actually start to deflate and will not be fluffy anymore. So I'm going to continue dropping these in and fry them for just about maybe 1 to 1.5 minutes, and then these will be ready to serve. I just wanted to show you guys what the oil looks like when it is just a little bit too hot, and if this happens, all you want to do is go ahead and lower the heat. If it is too hot like this and sizzling up too much, what happens is the oil gets into the bara and it sucks up that oil, so you want to be careful and regulate your heat. Now after about 30 seconds, you're going to see that the bara starts to get a little bit golden brown and it is ready to turn. So I'm using a fork just because these are a little more delicate than your regular baras that contain gluten. But once you go ahead and turn them over with your fork, you're going to reveal that beautiful golden brown color, and it is super crispy on the outside. So I'm going to flip them all over, allow them to cook for about another 30 seconds to a minute, and then they will be ready to take out of the oil. And look at that beautiful exterior. Now this is the perfect color when making bara. I do not like when I see bara that looks like really white or not golden brown at all, because it just feels like it's not properly cooked. And I do not like seeing bara that is overly dark, because once it's overly dark, sometimes it can start to get a little bit of a burnt taste. So this golden brown color is perfect. I'm just taking them out of the oil and transferring them into a bowl that I've lined with some paper towels. And after you've taken out the first batch from the oil, you're going to go ahead and start frying the rest of your bara. Remember, you want to go ahead and make sure the oil is not too cold and not too hot, so this way you get the perfect bara that is not too oily. And here it is, guys, the finished product. As you guys can see, these have a beautiful golden brown exterior. They're nice and crunchy, and when you go ahead and press on it just slightly, you're going to feel that they're very fluffy and springy on the inside. Now, one thing that I really want to mention is these are not as oily as the normal bara. Now, on the outside, they do have a little bit of oil on it, and you will feel a little bit of oiliness on your fingers, just because it obviously was touching that hot oil, just as with any other fried food. However, as with the normal bara, it doesn't have all of the oil sinking on the inside of the bara, which I really liked, which means you guys could eat a few more of these. So basically, I'm just ripping it apart, showing you guys how fluffy and succulent it looks on the inside. And you guys, I dipped it in this tamarind chutney and it was absolutely delicious. Now this does not have the exact same texture as the regular bara, being that it doesn't have flour, but trust me, you're going to want to give this a try. It is something different, something just a little bit healthier from the normal. And you know what? If you enjoyed, give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Come join the Matthew's Guyanese cooking family and leave those comments down below. I'll see you guys again very soon.